You only have to go back to January of this year. The Fed cut rates 100 basis points in the fall of 2024 and then stopped because...
So is this the new regime? What Englander's saying is the new regime?
Is to stop and reassess. Well, it's generally what they have done when they aren't sure what is going to happen with the economy. In 2019, they did the same thing. They stopped, they assessed, and all of a sudden we had the shortages of T-bills at the short end, and they ended up cutting rates and then stopping again. In this case, I think the odds are they are going to stop. And I was actually talking with Ira Jersey and Will Hoffman from our bond team this morning.
They speak to you when they're not on here?
Yeah, they speak to me. We don't tell anybody. And we're talking about, the key question is, how does the Fed communicate what it's going to do next? Because the dot plot is going to call for them to fill in some sort of rate cuts between now and the next 2 years, but they don't really know what they're going to do. So are they going to give us forward guidance that they don't know what they're going to do and they're going to have to watch and wait and see? Or are they going to suggest they're going to continue to cut rates in the October and December meetings?
You have been talking to and listening to governors and presidents of Fed banks, including Austin Goolsbee, who's on our air on Friday. He wants more information. He wants to see the inflation side of things in starker relief. How important are those numbers? Yes, for him. We know he wants to see them. But for other policymakers as well, how pivotal are those releases this week going to be?
I don't think they're going to be that important as long as they come in approximately where we think they will. If there's a big move up in inflation, that changes the calculus. But nobody's really expecting that. What we are expecting is that service price inflation is probably still going up, which will worry the hawks, people like Jeffrey Schmidt, who has said he's not interested in moving rates, and Alberto Musalem, who also is in that same camp, and their voters. The Goolsbee's the third voter, fourth voter is Susan Collins, because obviously John Williams votes every meeting, and he said he's for rate cuts. So we're probably leaning towards rate cuts with some holdouts who are pushing back. And then the question is, does that limit their ability to go 50? Is that there are people who don't think they should cut at all? How many others might be who aren't voters but would have a voice in the decision?
What did you make of Kevin Hassett on Face the Nation yesterday, talking about the integrity or strength of labor statistics in his kind of characteristically mild-mannered way? He talked about the problems with the surveys as they exist now. How much credence does that have? How much sort of support is that getting more widely, this kind of broader reforms of the way that economic surveys are conducted by the government?
Well, it depends on how you look at it, reforms. Now, the Bureau of Labor Statistics has been trying to improve its data analysis on a regular basis. They are short of money to do that, short of staff to do that, because one of the things that they have to do, remember, we cannot have a break in the statistics that just we go from one jump level to another. They need to put a system in place and test it again and back test it before they could replace what they've got now.
30 seconds.
So that takes a lot of money.
Are we in that process right now?
Only in theory, in the sense that they have worked
Your
on it.
reporting is we're not shifting at BLS.
Well, they can't. They don't have the ability to do that. But tomorrow's number, Ellen Zentner was on surveillance on television this morning saying she doesn't think CPI matters this week. That it's the revisions tomorrow to BLS that are going to get the market's attention because they're going to get the president's attention.
We've been living